Then I could walk out the door.
Okay, well, we are live. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. Now, that normally means it's Firearms Friday, and we do have a good one for you. But I
Let's
do want to
close
take a
on
minute.
that.
I do want to take a minute. Yesterday was a sad, sad day.
Yep.
Um, Herman Cain passed away yesterday, according to the news, from complications related to COVID-19. Um, Now, I'll be fair. Herman was 74. He was a stage 4 cancer survivor, uh, and he was black. And apparently, black men have a higher fatality rate from COVID than any other race, which is unfortunate, but facts is facts. Uh,
Yeah, I've been voting Republican a long time, but up until the Donald, that was the only presidential campaign I'd ever donated money to. In fact, that was the only politician I'd ever donated money to.
yep.
And
And
of course, we had the pleasure of listening to him on the radio for a long time. He started filling in for Neil Bortz a long time ago, and Bortz is well, he's kind of like us. He's not only is he unafraid to say the baby is ugly, but he'll call the baby ugly because he's not supposed to call the baby ugly. So having Herman be his fill-in host was a dramatic contrast, and yet it worked because our buddy Cade described Herman Cain as what Dolomite would sound like if he was Mensa level IQ.
yeah, and Herman had a way with words. Hell, he had a way with policy. His 999 plan was not bad. Um, Certainly
Yeah,
wasn't perfect, but it beat the hell out of the alternatives.
yeah, and he was a fair tax guy. And ladies and gentlemen, if I could just do one thing, one fair tax baby, it would so dramatically change the relationship with the federal government. No, 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 fam, you keep your whole check. But what if I live in New York? Well, that's a New York problem, not a USA problem.
Yup.
Well, will rich people keep their whole check? Yep, but so will poor people. And who do you think that's going to be better for proportionally? And
So, uh,
just and look, just one other thing. Fuck you, China.
yeah, yeah, China murdered Herman Cain.
He
Um,
he got coroninated.
and I saw one meme referencing John Lewis's passing. Um, and John Lewis is they're having a gigantic indoor funeral for him. We've seen the pictures from it. Everybody's in there packed in nuts to butts, just stacked on top of each other. Half of them wearing masks. And it's a bunch of the same people that have been posturing about quarantine and mask use and all that stuff. Um, and then the same people are posting all these uh, all these slam dunks on poor Herman. God's rest him. Oh well, he deserved to die because he went to that Trump rally that was an indoor event that wasn't good for quarantine. Look, you sons of bitches, a man died, right? I just it, and it's another moment where we get to see that difference between what decent people are and what Democrats are.
Yeah,
It's
even as we've criticized John Lewis, we've criticized his actions, not not taking a victory lap. Woohoo! He's dead. I mean,
yeah, we're not singing ding dong here. I mean, the man was a virulent racist and a dirty politician. I'm glad that he's no longer in politics. It's deeply unfortunate that it had to be this way. Now, in fairness though, in both of these cases, both of these men were old. I mean, 74,
That's
that's a
just a
pretty
few
good
years
long
short.
run.
Yeah, that's just a few years short of life expectancy. And given the fact that he had like 50% of his colon removed 20 years ago, that's uh, that's pretty darn impressive when you put it all together.
So, but we're
Just
not.
one other thing, real quick:
Go ahead.
the John Lewis funeral. How many of those same liberal shitburgers are trying to discourage guys like you and I from going to funerals for friends and family?
Oh, I've got God. I've uh, had a conversation with a funeral director recently. Or more accurately, who was speaking at an event. We had a conversation, but he was talking about the thing while he was speaking. It was at the same event. But anyway, he was pointing out that there's still rules in place in most places that you can't have more than 25 people at your funeral, right? Um,
I mean, that
but
barely even covers my immediate family.
right, exactly, exactly.
So, yeah, somber moment. Rest in peace, Herman. You earned your reward, sir. I'm not going to get misty because I'm going to work, but that one was a body blow when I heard about it yesterday.
Yep. I spoke to Herman several times. He was a large man. He was a funny man. He was a strong hugger, and yeah, I'm gonna miss him. He will absolutely be missed. And and now I regret not having done it. I mean, the man lived 20 feet or 20 minutes down the road from me. Dad and I used to joke all the time about just dropping in on him and saying, "Hey, brother, we know that place you like to eat. Let's go get a steak." And I bet you he'd have been down for it as long as there wasn't a calendar conflict. Like I haven't spoken to him a few times. That's an actual legitimate calendar conflict. I think would be the only thing that would have stopped him from saying, "Hell yeah, let's go get a steak." So, well, let's move on to our news topic. Um, Real quick before we do that, speaking of the news, Cameron, have you seen the new Munted News that Dr. Randomer Cam dropped yesterday?
Oh, he's come back with the. I'm Munted News is one of my favorite segments,
God, it
dudes.
hurts. It's so funny.
I know what I'm doing as soon as we get off this call.
Oh, brother, do me a favor. Pull before you start it. Pull over. Get out from like pull over. Get out of your truck and smoke a cigarette. Don't even be in the running vehicle. just the just the first minute before the sounder is is devastating. Okay, so it's Firearms Friday. I know why you're here. Y'all came for the DRT. So without further ado, Dad shoots Robert to defend his family. Grieving mom asks, "Why'd you have to shoot him 5 times?"
He actually tried to shoot him six. He just missed with the last shot.
I think the rest of the headline covered it. To defend his family. Cynthia Ruiz, a widow, single mother, revealed that she collapsed when Antonio police officers notified her that her 19-year-old son, Andrew Herrera, had been shot and killed the previous night during an attempted robbery at Popeye's Chicken in the 800 block of Southeast Military Drive. Did my son deserve to be punished? Yes, he did, she said. Yes, yes, he did, apparently. Police said that Herrera, in a hoodie and mask, entered the restaurant with a gun and confronted a man and his family. After the man explained that he had spent all the money he had on the dinner, Herrera turned and pointed the gun towards the counter at one worker who was running away. Man who had a license to carry a concealed weapon took the opportunity and fired at Herrera several times. Police spokesman spoke about the incident, saying, "Here in Texas, if you're in fear of loss of life, loss of property, you have the right to defend yourself." Ruiz stated that while she understood the man was just protecting his family, she still had the question: why shoot him 4 more times? Why do you have to shoot him 5 times? Okay, you know that the pair of you don't share a last name tells me a lot. Well, we'll just gloss right over the need for a father in the home to keep your children from growing up to be shitbags. She stated that she wanted to see the surveillance footage to ascertain what happened. Why? You're you're the criminal's mother. You're not an investigator. You no, shut up. However, police have yet to reveal whether any footage exists. Ruiz stated that the man had no way of knowing what the second suspect later told her: the gun wasn't even loaded. Yeah, not relevant. I I does not care. After that, she began questioning his activities since he was bringing home money despite the fact that he didn't have a job. Ruiz said that he had told her, "What is life being on medicine all the time and I'm sleeping, I'm missing life." So this kid was off his meds, and apparently he was a repeat offender based on this. After that, she began to questioning his activities since he was bringing home money despite the fact that he didn't have a job. So the authorities believe he may have been involved in other robberies. She stated that she had not heard from the San Antonio Police Department since the shooting, but a spokesman stated that the department couldn't release any additional information since it is an active investigation. And Herrera's accomplice, 18-year-old Trayvon Atkinson, who was acting as the getaway driver, was arrested the next day and charged with aggravated robbery. With aggravated robbery, I'm not sure how it works in Texas, but in Georgia, Herrera, or I'm sorry, Atkinson could have been charged with felony murder. Okay, we're not getting any audio from you, Cameron. Wow, I'm switching you to audio only because your video's falling apart. Oh no. Okay, guys. Just in case, I think Cameron's dropping the ball on us. I'm going to hang up on him and call him right back, and we're gonna keep going. Cameron should be dialing right back in. Now I can hear him.
But can you see me?
I can see you. I can hear you. So we got a repeat offender. We've got an accomplice. The accomplice has been charged with aggravated robbery. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how it's different in Texas, but I believe if this had happened in Georgia,
He might cop a
since
felony murder
he might
charge.
cop a felony murder charge. Yes, we've talked about that on the show before. One of the it's one of the factors in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Arbery's defense team does not get to argue that Arbery was doing self defense. They don't get to use self defense as an active defense because Arbery. Now that's assuming that the case is proved that Arbery was at least the suspect in a felony. But because Arbery was in the process of committing a felony, he can't use self defense as an active defense. When you're committing a felony, you don't get to defend yourself. If somebody else draws a weapon on you while you're committing a felony and you return fire, that's just murder under the law. We there's a semantic and moral quandary to be argued there, but under the law, in the state of Georgia, if you are committing a felony, then you cannot use self-defense as an act of defense.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and not just the need for the father, but I mean, I'm questioning his activities. Wait, your son's bringing home large amounts of cash, even though he doesn't have a job, and he should be medicated, and he is not medicated. I mean, the only question you have to ask is it drugs or theft? I mean, I suppose it could be prostitution,
I
but
was about to say, maybe he's stripping. I hear they do pretty well.
I get the feeling that, you know what? No, I'm just going to let that one go. Let it go.
Don't do that. I mean, go by all means, let it go, but don't you dare start singing Disney tunes on my channel.
Our
Um,
channel.
well, fair enough, fair enough. Uh,
But yeah,
yeah,
no, I don't want the band hammer coming down.
yeah,
No,
no shit.
seriously, what kind of a shit mother are you where you can't put two and two together? I mean, did you think he was going and hanging out in front of the Home Depot to be a day laborer?
I mean, ella llaman Ruiz, c'est possible.
And now,
El
uh,
nombre está Herrera, c'est possible.
for those of us that are monolingual,
Oh, I said his last name's Herrera, so maybe that's what she thought. Um,
no, it's not.
and man, I hate to be rough on this poor woman. She did just lose her kid, but the whole thing. Why did he shoot him 5 times? He had a gun.
Because that was all the bullets I had.
If you have an unknown number of bullets, I'm gonna give you all the bullets I can afford.
I promise you, if I'd been armed with a 1911, it would have been 8 shots. If I'd been armed with a Beretta, it would have been 13 shots.
Amen.
But yeah,
Now, if I had been armed with an AR-15 or an M4, he might not have got the whole magazine. I imagine that somewhere around the mid-20s, I'd be relatively certain I was done with him.
yeah, but once again, good guy with a gun.
But if it was a 249, man, I'd have just written my name across him. I can do this all day. So good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun, and saves his children from the masked criminal in a hood. So we don't even I don't even care how old this kid was. Okay, he's 19 years old. It's a tragedy. A young man's dead. Sure, but here's the thing: you throw on a hoodie and a mask and come in with a gun. I don't know you from Adam's house cat, who I would also likely shoot if I found him in the middle of the night in my house, or pointing a gun at me. It's not
Well,
hard.
not only he didn't just save his family. So I mean, there's a whole restaurant full of people.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure all those people frying chicken want to go home to their families as well. So, yay for concealed carry.
yep. And that's all I've got this morning, brother. Kind of on a down note, just praying for Herman's family, and that's about all I've got.
Hey, real quick,
I know y'all just heard Cameron say, "Hey man, real quick." Oh, that's unfortunate. So hopefully we'll get his audio back in just a second. It's weird. I've got his video coming through, but I just lost his audio feed due to poor connection. I'm gonna hang up on camera to bring him right back and let him say something real quick, and then we're gonna put a pin in the show. Hold on. Get your safety brief out there, too. Thankfully, when I have to hang up on Cameron and call him back, it pops my video right back up while the computer processes his goofy ass coming back in. So, what was
So
that thing you wanted to say? Hey, real
what's funny is I heard you making fun of me. So I'm not even going to attempt to reconnect the video. Real quick, having gone through all the stuff with Attorney General Barr, the media is not going to tell you this, but he eviscerated the Democrats. And
Oh, yeah.
and God, he's so smart. He very carefully conceded some points to them so that he could double down on others. And probably my favorite line from the whole thing is one Democrat was questioning him, saying, "Well, you said that prosecutors, that it's a conflict of interest for them to donate to uh, political campaigns." And he clarified, a certain type of prosecutor, yes. And this dumbass Democrat didn't see it coming and brought up the fact, well, you've donated over $700,000 to Republican causes. And he says, yeah, that's an accumulation over decades. And she brings it up again, and he just cuts across her and says, are you surprised that I'm a Republican? It was like, Mike, drop. Oh, so yeah, we might have us a good one there in Bill Barr. It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, buddy. All right. Well, it is Friday, so y'all about to go and do a weekend. I think it's Friday. It is Friday, right? What was yesterday? Yesterday, what Friday was? It's Friday. Okay, so get out there and be safe. Don't drive drink. Don't fry bacon naked. And for God's sake, don't go pointing your gun at people that don't deserve to die. You don't know what they've got. But statistically, it's not the COVID. Jesus Christ. Be safe out there, guys. We'll see you Monday.